I wasn't going to jump. Perhaps I was a little bit too close to the edge, and anyone who happened to see me would immediately reach the wrong conclusion. But I didn't come up here to the rooftops to end things. I never did. Rather, it was an escape from the trappings of the city below, the trappings of the life I'd sleepwalked into. I watched the birds fly across the city. I'd always envied them. All they'd need do is spread their wings, and freedom was theirs for the taking, to soar the skies without a care, without financial worries, without seeking permission from a husband to buy anything. Of course, Jim never knew about my little visits to the rooftops of London. He'd think I was mad, and have half a mind to commit me to an asylum. He threatened to, often enough. But I'd always felt this longing to live my life safe and happy, instead of caged in a less than loving marriage, with the trappings of a housewife. I felt this sense of freedom when I stood watching the city skyline. I wondered what my carefree, adventurous 18-year-old self would think of what she'd become. Sometimes heard her during the monotony of housework, or if I was trying to conceal the bruises after one of Jim's rages. Where did you go? What happened to you? It was getting a little cold after a while. I knew I should get something for Jim's tea before returning to our small house a bus ride away. But suddenly people appeared from nowhere on the next rooftop along. Men were carrying parts of a drum kit and talking animatedly. I quickly hid behind a chimney stack, panicking that I'd finally been discovered. I mean, what would they think to find a 60-year-old woman hiding all the way up here? My mind raced as to what Jim would do when he found out. But no one saw me. More people arrived carrying other instruments, guitars mainly. And a group of men even managed to manoeuvre a small piano into place and other important-looking equipment. A figure in a striking red coat caught my attention, and I felt my heart quicken to see the familiar face eyeing the drums the other men were setting up. And so it came to be, on January the 30th, 1969, that I found myself witnessing close up the Beatles, with their long hair and their individual dress style. I mean, no longer the cheeky identikit mop tops of yesteryear, play their famous, unannounced rooftop concert. By the time I came out of my hiding place, there was already a sporadic crowd of onlookers around. So I took my place next to a couple of young women, marvelling at the scene before them, and watched as the band played on. I can't say for sure that it was seeing those four boys that I'd always been fond of that day that made me take action. All I can tell you is that after the concert ended and people were returning to their daily lives, I had decided to change mine. We had some savings hidden in an old Bisto tin in the kitchen. Not a lot, but enough to get me out of London, to my sister Peggy on the East Coast. She'd never liked Jim. The feeling was mutual. So I knew I would be safe with her. Well, I decided what to do with the rest of my life.